her question is, how do we let go? We usually let go by letting go. Either a massive change in perspective is required, or a radical change in thinking is required, or maybe extraordinary acceptance, which is only possible if you elevate your consciousness. That, okay, this thing happened, it's done, it's past, I cannot do anything about it. If it can happen again in the future and I cannot accept it, then let me protect myself. Not by becoming bitter, by becoming better. And that's entirely in your hands. The process of awakening, it's the only reason why it's painful at times. Because everything we cling to so dearly, our beliefs, our value system, our thinking, our, as I said, sense of entitlement, our accomplishments, our attainments, our acquisitions, none of that is going to matter. All of that is going to be taken away one day. So if I'm holding on to a piece of coal which is burning, and it is giving me grief. Now, for me to imagine that somehow I could do something that I'll hold on to this and yet not feel the pain, that's quite ignorant. I must understand that I can apply the balm, but until I let go of this source of grief, I will forever be in pain. And most people cling because somehow they are marred with self-doubt. They have not learned to love themselves. They have not learned to value themselves. They have not learned to utilize their skills and talent and to realize their potential. And when you harbor feelings of inadequacy, then it's natural that you would want to cling to somebody who would somehow make you feel adequate. Which, in other words, people feel when they feel needed or wanted in a relationship. Whether that's a professional relationship or a personal or interpersonal of any kind. Because when you're wanted, or when you're needed, you feel, well, I have something that they need, therefore I'm valued. It makes you feel important. And the greatest service you can do to somebody is to make them feel important by appreciating. And the greatest service anybody can do for you is to make you feel valued. Because everybody has something. Everybody has their bit of heaven. Everybody has a bit of heaven that belongs to them. As Oscar Wilde said, and I've quoted it earlier as well, all of us are in the gutter, but some of us are looking at the stars. If I am going to direct my attention to things that drag me down, that make me angry, and that make me feel less, I would be feeding those emotions. And they would constantly gain increasing strength. On the other hand, if I look at the brighter side of life, if I devote my time to creating, if I devote my time to working on myself, then those things won't matter. When you are 4-year-old and you lose your toy, naturally you cry. You cry really bad and you don't want to lose that toy. But when you're 8 years old and you recall losing that toy, it really, really doesn't bring any emotion. But it would if you were still 4 years old. But if you're 8, you've grown up. And when you're 18 and you see a 4-year-old crying for losing his or her toy, you'll say, hey, take it easy, it's no big deal. You'll get a new one. We'll buy you a new one, or we'll look for it. Maybe it's just here somewhere. So if my spiritual level, if emotionally and spiritually I'm not growing, I'll forever be bothered by things that happened to me 15 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago. But if I have grown up, those things will cease to matter beyond a certain degree, maybe, at the most. So letting go requires being positive, being creative, and being kind to yourself and others. And letting go requires reminding yourself that by not letting go, you're not helping your cause. Ultimately, it's affecting your health. Sometimes I see in men and women, but particularly in women, when they are mistreated in a home, their will to live just disappears. They stop dressing up, they stop looking beautiful, they stop taking care of themselves, and they start gaining weight, and they become unhealthy, they eat unhealthy, they just don't care. Because in their mind, there is nobody to dress up for. But that's a grave mistake. If you start taking those steps of giving up on yourself, then it will become your second nature, and one day you will look so shabby emotionally and physically that you won't be able to see yourself in the mirror and say, I like this person. You would be bothered. You will say, actually, no wonder nobody likes me, because I don't like this person I'm seeing. But we fall in love with the things we cling to. They start to look beautiful. Some people have it in them. They just don't let go of any clutter. All documents, all paperwork, all junk, all receipts, they will just keep it. They will not discard it. People in the family around them would be screaming, please get rid of this thing, please sell this thing, please give it to the scrap dealer. But they say, no, I have to keep it. Who knows, tomorrow I may need it. So if you think you need a certain emotion, keep it. We only keep what we wish to recycle or reuse. Very simple. So when something is giving you grief, ask yourself, is this the kind of emotion I want to reuse?